Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our English Learning podcast. I'm Jennifer, and I'm here with my fantastic co-host, Elizabeth. How are you today, Elizabeth?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm really looking forward to today's episode because we're going to discuss a topic that's absolutely crucial for anyone learning English: ways to improve your listening skills. Whether you're just starting out or you're already quite advanced, the tips we'll share today will help you become a more effective listener.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. Listening skills are the foundation of learning any language. It's how you absorb the sounds, patterns, and rhythms of English, and how you understand context, tone, and emotion. Today, we're going to cover 6 powerful ways to enhance your listening skills. These strategies will help you listen more effectively, understand more deeply, and communicate more confidently.
Yes, and remember, listening is an active process. It's not just about hearing words, it's about engaging with what you're hearing, understanding it, and responding appropriately. So let's get started with our first tip. Listen to a variety of content and use subtitles. Jennifer, can you explain why this is so important?
Of course. Listening to a variety of content is key because it exposes you to different accents, speeds, and styles of speaking. You might listen to a news broadcast, which uses formal language and a clear, steady pace, and then switch to a comedy show where the dialogue is fast, colloquial, and full of idioms. This diversity helps you become a more adaptable listener who can understand English in different contexts.
Exactly. And using subtitles is a great way to support your understanding. Start with subtitles in your native language to get a grasp of the context, and then switch to English subtitles. This will help you match the spoken words with their written form, which is great for improving both listening and reading skills.
And don't forget to challenge yourself by sometimes turning the subtitles off entirely. It might feel tough at first, but this kind of practice pushes you to rely more on your listening abilities. Start with shorter videos or podcasts, then gradually increase the length and complexity as you become more comfortable.
Another idea is to choose content that interests you. Whether it's cooking shows, documentaries, podcasts about technology, or even animated movies, pick something you enjoy. When you're interested in the content, you're more likely to stay engaged and motivated to keep listening.
That's a great point, Elizabeth. And remember, variety is key. Try to mix it up with different genres and speakers. You'll be surprised at how quickly your ears adapt to different styles of speaking.
All right, let's move on to our second tip: practice active listening. Jennifer, can you tell us more about what active listening involves?
Absolutely. Active listening is all about engaging fully with what you're hearing. It means you're not just passively letting the words flow by, you're consciously focusing on understanding the message, the emotions, and the intent behind the words. This type of listening helps you pick up on subtleties like tone, stress, and intonation, which are crucial for understanding the full meaning.
One great way to practice active listening is to ask yourself questions while you're listening. For example, what's the main point here? Why is the speaker saying this? What's their tone? Are they angry, happy, or being sarcastic? These questions keep your mind engaged and focused on the content.
And here's another tip. Try summarizing what you've just heard. After listening to a podcast or an audio clip, take a few moments to summarize the key points in your own words. This helps reinforce your understanding and retention of the information.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to pause and replay parts you didn't understand. Listening multiple times to the same content can help you catch things you might have missed initially. The goal is to really absorb the information, not just to finish the audio.
And speaking of absorbing information, let's talk about our third tip: repeat and shadow. Elizabeth, can you explain what this technique is and why it's so effective?
Sure. Repeating and shadowing is a method where you listen to a piece of audio and repeat what you hear, mimicking the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. When you shadow, you actually try to speak along with the speaker, matching their pace and tone as closely as possible.
This technique is fantastic because it helps improve both listening and speaking skills simultaneously. It trains your ear to recognize different sounds and helps you develop a more natural accent. Start with short sentences or phrases and gradually work your way up to longer passages. The goal is to sound as close to the native speaker as possible.
And remember, it's okay if you don't get it perfect right away. The more you practice, the better you'll get. This is a great way to learn the nuances of pronunciation and to feel more confident when speaking English yourself.
Absolutely. And speaking of confidence, let's talk about our fourth tip: engage in conversations. Why is this so important, Elizabeth?
Engaging in real conversations is critical because it forces you to listen and respond in real time. When you're in a conversation, you don't have the luxury of pausing or rewinding. You have to understand and reply quickly. This practice helps sharpen your listening skills in a way that passive listening can't.
Exactly.
And real conversations provide context that's incredibly valuable. You're not just hearing words, you're seeing facial expressions, body language, and other nonverbal cues that add meaning to what's being said. If you're nervous about having conversations with native speakers, try joining language exchange groups or using apps that connect you with English learners and speakers from around the world.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every conversation is a learning opportunity. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. You can even start by talking to yourself in English, describe your day, talk about your plans, or narrate what you're doing. It might sound silly, but it's great practice.
That's a great idea. And remember, conversations don't always have to be with people. Listening to yourself is a powerful way to reinforce what you've learned and to practice thinking in English.
Moving on to our fifth tip, use interactive tools. Jennifer, what are some of the best tools out there to help improve listening skills?
There are so many great tools available today. Apps like Duolingo, Memrise, and Babbel offer listening exercises with native speakers that allow you to practice at your own pace. Websites like BBC Learning English and VOA Learning English provide audio content with transcripts, quizzes, and exercises to help you improve your comprehension.
And don't forget about platforms like YouTube and Spotify, where you can find countless podcasts and videos tailored for English learners. Many of these resources offer listening practice with subtitles and comprehension questions to test your understanding. Key is to find tools that you enjoy and that fit into your daily routine.
Absolutely. And don't overlook interactive websites that allow you to practice with real-time feedback. Sites like Elo or Lyrics Training let you listen to audio or songs and fill in the missing words, which is a fun way to practice listening while also learning new vocabulary.
Great suggestions, Jennifer. Now let's discuss our final tip: set realistic goals. Why is goal setting so crucial when it comes to listening skills?
Setting realistic goals is essential because it keeps you focused and motivated. It gives you a clear direction and a sense of purpose. Start by setting small, manageable goals, like listening to a podcast for 10 minutes each day or completing one listening exercise per week. As you meet these goals, gradually increase the difficulty and duration.
And remember to celebrate your progress. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a win. Don't be too hard on yourself if you don't understand everything right away. Learning takes time, and every bit of effort you put in gets you closer to your goal.
That's right. And speaking of goals, we'd love to hear from our listeners about your goals and challenges when it comes to improving your listening skills. Let's take a call from one of our listeners now. Hi there, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name, and where are you calling from?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Sarah, and I'm calling from Melbourne, Australia. I've been listening to your podcast for a few weeks now, and I have a question about improving my listening skills.
Hi, Sarah. It's great to hear from you. What's your question?
Well, I've been trying to listen to English podcasts and watch TV shows, but I find it hard to stay focused. I often get distracted and miss parts of what's being said. Do you have any tips for maintaining concentration?
That's a great question, Sarah. Staying focused can definitely be challenging, especially if the content is difficult or if you're tired. One technique that might help is active listening. This means actively engaging with the content by taking notes, summarizing what you hear, or even repeating key phrases out loud. You could also break your listening practice into shorter sessions, like 10 to 15 minutes at a time, so it feels more manageable.
I'd also suggest finding content that really interests you. If you're passionate about the topic, you're more likely to stay focused. And try to listen in a quiet place where you're less likely to be distracted. Remember, it's okay to take breaks if you need to. The goal is to stay consistent, not to be perfect.
That's really helpful. Thank you. I'll definitely try those tips. I love the idea of breaking it down into shorter sessions.
Great to hear, Sarah. Thanks for calling in and sharing your question with us.
Yes, thank you so much, Sarah. Keep practicing and stay motivated. You're doing great.
Thanks, Jennifer and Elizabeth. Have a great day.
You too, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
That was a fantastic question from Sarah, and it brings up a really important point about staying focused. Listening skills aren't just about understanding words. They're also about developing the stamina and concentration to follow along for longer periods.
Absolutely. And for those of you listening, if you're enjoying our podcast, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps us keep creating these episodes and sharing tips and strategies to help you improve every day.
So, to recap, today we talked about 6 powerful ways to improve your listening skills. We covered listening to a variety of content and using subtitles, practicing active listening, repeating and shadowing, engaging in conversations, using interactive tools, and setting realistic goals.
And remember, improving your listening skills is a process. It takes time, effort, and consistent practice, but with dedication, you'll see progress. Don't get discouraged if it feels difficult at first. Every step you take is moving you closer to fluency.
We hope these tips will help you become a more confident and effective listener. Keep tuning in to our daily episodes, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to be on this journey with you, and we look forward to helping you improve your English skills step by step.
Take care, keep listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now, and happy listening.